Yay! Alright, that was a noise here from the group. Here, actually, there's not one Liverpool fan here. That's interesting. We need to find one over the coming week.
They're missing.
Huh? They're missing.
But the two main hosts
you know
are
what?
not here.
They can't believe the results.
that's
They
right.
can't believe they're in shock. Every week they're sitting there saying, no, we won't win, no, we won't win, we're going to crack. So
And they decided not to turn up.
They decided not to turn up.
Yeah, and that goes for Sarah as well. She's a Liverpool fan, but I'm replacing her. And my name is Ernest Luis, and I'm from the newspaper. Let me introduce to you our friends here. We have Ben Thomas, who is an Arsenal fan. He's a teacher.
Come on!
And he teaches.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
We have Bruce Kum. Bruce Kum is a Man U fan, and he's an office assistant. Yep. Let's take a look at our very good friend here. Gimping here. Yeah, that's Gimping. And he's a Chelsea fan. And
he did a drop bar, right? You just said
he's a student, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then of course we have Edwin Yeo. Edwin Yeo is a Spurs fan, and his occupation is actually as the man Singapore still hates.
15 years, man. Give it up already, alright?
Okay, let's take a look at the most shocking result of the weekend, which is Liverpool 5, Aston Villa 0.
Not shocking.
Was that shocking or not for you guys?
Scoreline, yes.
Quite.
Let's take a look at the scorers. Steven Gerrard, hat-trick there.
Steven Gerrard.
Steven Gerrard. Is that how you say it?
No. 3 goals. We'll
Oh,
come
right,
back to that. It's interesting that he scored the 3 goals.
Let's start off with Ben.
penalties.
Yeah.
I think if Liverpool end up winning the league, Gerrard should replace Vidic as player of the season. I'm sorry, not for any other reason. That these were 2 games they needed to win, and win in style. I said on the show before, I didn't think that Man U would get full points against Liverpool, but the manner of it, I think, shocked everyone. I think more important, especially that they were playing after Chelsea dropped points, United dropped points, they needed to go Villa and really show them that they could play against the lower teams, not just the big teams. And it's interesting, if you watch the game, they were 3-0 up at halftime. They scored the 4th after 49 minutes. They just took the pedal off that and cruised.
Yeah, it seems
I
like
think there's a
everyone
reason
was falling apart.
because
Right?
Villa are playing United next, and they need to hit Villa but not destroy them, so that Villa will give United a game. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think
Ben, I got to say that it's not only United's game. I think this is going to be a very open thing. We all know. I mean, from the start, I did mention basically that I never said that United is going to win the Premiership because it is hard to retain it again. Now you just need to have consistency, and then you have to show up. You know, for me, the surprising thing is referees again. You know, I mean, we can talk about it. I cannot
don't waste our
understand.
time, no.
Yeah, I know.
Referees.
I cannot understand what the referees.
It's an opening debate.
You
There's
know,
no end to it,
and
actually.
you know, to me, the Liverpool game, I think the man of the match should be the referee, man.
What do you guys think?
It's 5-0, come on. It's 5-0. Okay.
Well,
I'll give you this.
Go ahead,
I'll give you this much.
they played well. Gerrard, remember when Gerrard beat when Man U beat Liverpool? What Gerrard says, he wants other teams to have that belief. Now, I remember.
Liverpool beat Man U.
What did I say?
You said Man U beat Liverpool.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry. Anyway. And
Jump
I
the
think
gun.
he realized they're beginning to see sequence, and the commentator made interesting. The international break has come at the wrong time for Liverpool, but the right time for United, the right time for teams like Villa. They need that breathing space. I mean, at the end of the day, Gerrard said this, Benitez said this, Man U are still a point clear with a game in hand. If they win all their games, they can afford to lose one game. They can afford to lose one but win the rest. They can't afford to draw 2. That's the irony.
It's just like Liverpool. They can't lose another game. They lose another game, you know, they're going to be back on pressure point again.
To be honest, the only game I see Liverpool dropping points are against Arsenal. That's the only game I see them dropping
I think that's where you got to be very wrong. And remember,
So,
the bottom
what do you
teams,
think happened over the weekend? I mean, was it like some feng shui master organized this? Master style, you know. Saturday was like the great...
The feng shui master was
Sunday, what was that?
Let's look at it.
Well, I think Martin Atkinson's
At 3-0 up, right? At 3-0 up at halftime, you have to say that the scoreline wasn't really fair, to Aston Villa, because Villa actually had a lot of chances in the game. Reina had, pulled up a few really good saves. I don't think Liverpool dominated as much as the scoreline suggested. I mean, after a break, yes, it was completely Liverpool's game. I think you're right about the international break. I think what's going to benefit actually more Aston Villa than it would Manchester United, because don't forget, Abanga Hall is not selected in the England team. Ashley Young's not selected in the England team, and these are the two key players. And the rest is going to actually make a lot of difference to these two players. I don't think the Aston Villa that will show up Old Trafford will be the same Aston Villa that was at Anfield. I think that's going to be a tough game for Manchester United.
If you tell me it's a weekend game and then a weekday game and weekend, then yeah. But this is going to be a weekend game, and there's a whole week to prepare. The point about playing football, sometimes when you miss off that 1 or 2 days, that 1 week, you tend to fade off. You need to have that consistency of playing football. You need that, and sometimes when you miss that, that feel, you lose out the kind of sort of like a push to move on. That's the problem when you have international games. You're talking at the weekend. If you have it on the weekday, it's a different story, because you're talking about here's a week break, international break in the weekend, and you got another weekend break. Now, 5 days rest will do hell of a lot to a lot of players.
Bruce, what do you think? Do you think the international weekend break is going to break the momentum of Liverpool, or is it going to help Manchester United because they have a time to...
I believe it will aid Manchester United, because for the last couple of games, or at least if you want to include the Champions League qualifying against Inter Milan, we haven't really been playing as smooth as we would like to be for the previous games before that. So this kind of break gives a good rest for most of the United players, and perhaps for Ferguson, because after the international break, games are going to come thick and fast. And it was going to give not a lot of time for Sir Alex Ferguson to do a lot of pondering, a lot of team selections. So also in that aspect, so it really helps a lot to United's cause for the title.
Okay, Ghimp, Liverpool, right? Yeah. I mean, right from the start, it seemed like as though everyone was about... I mean, Edwin did say, yeah, they were right. Aston Villa did give a good game, but Dirk Kuyt got that first goal, early goal. Yeah. And then there was that fantastic repeat of the Dosena goal from the previous weekend, where it was a long lob over and all that. I'm sure that's the kind of goal that you would have scored in your earlier days. But we also tried that in the army. But anyway, Route 1 star. But what do you think? When you were watching that game, do you feel like something special was going to go on here? I mean, it was...
I feel that the difference with Liverpool these days is that they start to play from the very first minute. That means they have the red urgency, as if they are almost as though they are one goal down. They play with a lot of play. The movement of the players they have a lot of movements off the ball, and they work very hard from the very first minute. I don't know why they didn't do that at the very first game of the season, and they started doing it against Real Madrid, then followed by Man U, again followed by Villa, and to be 3-0 out at halftime is exceptional, but it's expected by Liverpool fans, because Liverpool is a world class club. After all, they could have done that with the quality of players, and if they work harder. When they meet the small teams, they won't work as hard from the first minute. They will just play normally, relax, then sometimes they get caught off guard, like against Middlesbrough, and they eventually lose the game. But against Aston Villa, they went out with the right mentality, and to kill off the opponent even before halftime is what Rafa really wants, and it will help. And now the Premiership team will start to fear Liverpool. They will start to be more defensive and play more of a defensive formation that will allow Liverpool a lot of space to pass around in midfield. Yeah, I would think.
Okay. It's interesting, Ghimp on the last show said that actually Rafa is you're talking about Rafa Benitez right at the end. And I think this is right. I think the best thing that could have happened to Liverpool is he signed his contract. Because with it hanging over you, and this is something we'll come back to about Chelsea, the situation with Hiddink. With the contracts issue sorted out, he's been told he's been given 30 million. I think what they need to do is, regardless of the season, they should give him another 4 years, regardless of the season, however it ends. Because he's proven his worth. He's getting, to be very honest, only Alex Ferguson is the only British manager who has been around to understand what it takes to win the Premiership. No other British manager has done it. Okay, Keegan maybe, because he's no longer in management. Mourinho came in and did it off the back of Ranieri's team. I've said this before. I mean, I'm not no discredit to Mourinho, but Ranieri played large, but Wenger's the other one. Any new manager that comes in is going to have this bedding in period. The problem with European managers, when they come from European leagues, it's different. In European leagues, you can afford to do what the Liverpool playing. I think that's part of the problem with the European players as well. You can afford to take it easy against the smaller teams, and you only need to raise your game for the big teams. But in the English league, you can't do that. And that's Benitez has worked that out. And I'm not saying he's got the answer, but he's sorted that out. And I think Ghimp mentioned this. There's a ruthlessness about them now that teams are not going to fancy that. The key game will be Fulham. They come back next, Fulham. If they whack Fulham, I think you're going to see a very interesting run into the end. And I think now they need Gerrard to stay fit. They need Torres to stay fit.
Well, I've been, since the first time I appeared here talking about how Liverpool was, going to win this season. I actually think that these 3 games, it's amazing results. Nobody can doubt it. But, the funny thing is you're right. I think Fulham's going to be the test more than Real Madrid was, more than Manchester United was, more than Aston Villa was. They do great against big teams, Liverpool. It's the small ones that they're struggling. They're getting 0-0. They don't get beat much. They've only been beaten twice, one by Spurs. But
In case you didn't know, Edwin Yeo is a Spurs fan, just like me.
Is there anybody who doesn't know that?
But that's why Singapore still hates him. And by the way, if you're
they love you, right?
And if you're watching out there, and while Edwin goes on about Liverpool, don't forget to send us your comments on the crazy Premiership weekend. In the meantime, so. Yes, back to you, Edwin.
Are we going back there?
Yeah.
Sorry. You don't understand, Ernest. You see, I'm trying to get everybody to hate Spurs because when everybody hated Manchester United, Manchester United became champions. So if everyone started hating Spurs, maybe we would
win first.
Sorry, at the
time. Anyway, seriously.
You need Mourinho as Spurs manager. Drogba as a striker.
We'll get to Spurs in a while, right?
Can have,
but seriously speaking, I think the small teams are the one that and Fulham, great result against Manchester United. They'll be full of confidence now. Liverpool's going to Craven Cottage. It's not an easy place to go to. It's not an easy place to go to.
I did mention, Edwin, everything is just going to come very tight and fast. And the main thing is that you got teams battling out for points. They want to be in positions. And if you're going to take that foot off that pedal, the accelerator or the gas or whatever, just one moment of mistake you make, and you're going to be punished. United, no qualms. They deserve to lose that game. Number one. Paul Scholes, what in the world
was he doing?
Okay, we'll hang on about the Scholes. What do you guys think? Is it more a case of a perfect finish for Liverpool to the start, or is it a case of Man U making more mistakes and maybe even Liverpool making more mistakes, and then it just really hangs in there?
This is. I think they're interrelated.
Okay,
the consistency is still the main game here.
You still got 9 games.
The league is not a sprint; it's a marathon. So the team who makes the less mistakes will eventually get the honours.
Okay.
I don't know about what you said just now about Liverpool taking their foot off the pedal because they don't want to crush Aston Villa. I mean, if that's the truth, then I think it's a really stupid thing to do because they need a goal difference. They need a goal difference.
No, they do.
But I think Rafa did say he wanted them.
Watch me. They will not take the foot off any other. The only reason they did it against Villa, they cannot afford to crush Villa because Villa play United next.
I don't know. A +1 goal difference is not exactly safe. I mean, in that position, I would go 7-0, 8-0, 9-0 if I could. I'll get it.
If Villa weren't playing Man U next, believe me, they would have. The score would have been a slaughter.
But I think Rafa did say also today that he wished they would have gone on scoring after 5-0.
I think those are games. I think those are games.
I think they're just relaxing there. Because right now, all teams, especially the big teams, will have to worry about injuries. Okay? Because somebody's going to get whacked. And then they're going to get injured.
Suspensions as well.
And then eventually 6 weeks out on the bench, and then we'll see what happens. This is exactly
the game they need to knock the 6-7 in is against Fulham. That's the one they need to knock the 6-7 in to once and for all destroy this thing that we're no longer bothered about the small teams. Big team, middle team, small team, we can beat you. That one, if they take the foot off the gas, I'll be very surprised. That's where they need the goal.
So shall we take a break, guys?
Yeah.
All right. While you guys don't
send in your comments. Liverpool fans, come on, man. We first time run here.
First time there's no Liverpool presence.
Liverpool fan.